Hi, this is Voice Jam here. I wanted to go over something that's pretty close to my heart, which is understanding the logic behind the Christian faith. And I've thought about this a fair bit and don't claim to have all the answers, but I know that some of this stuff might help you guys who are looking and searching. I know this won't necessarily be the thing that changes everything, but it can remove barriers to know that we have thought about what we believe. So what I wanted to do is start from a sort of a beginning point we can all agree on and sort of work from there, and I'm happy to have your feedback. So I wanted to start from the idea of physics of the universe and the idea of energy. The law of conservation of energy is where I wanted to start, which states that energy is neither created nor destroyed. And if you think about that, that would mean that energy has always existed. So if it can't be created or destroyed, that must mean it's always existed. Matter, on the other hand, the stuff that the universe is made of, we know has a beginning. We know this because tracking the movement of the universe, we can see that it came from a central point. And so scientists agree that the universe did start at a singularity, and therefore before the singularity didn't exist. So what we have is we have on one hand matter, which is finite, and energy, which is infinite, which indicates that the energy that we have now is coming from an external source. Now there's two ways that this energy could exist. It could either be non-cognitive, non-thinking, or it could be cognitive, it could think. So that's a fair argument, isn't it? So the energy that's always existed, the energy that came about, that was around before matter existed, could either be cognitive, have thoughts, or non-cognitive. It's just irrational energy, just a force, like in Star Wars, eh? Okay, so I think there's good evidence for a cognitive thinking being. First of all, looking at DNA. That's been one of my areas. I've worked a lot on that, and you look at DNA, you can see that it's a information containing molecule. The molecule itself is spectacular, but what's spectacular about it is the fact that it contains information. So for example, if you saw writing written on the beach in the sand, a rational person would think, okay, someone's written that writing, a being has created that writing, the waves washing on the beach hasn't done it. That's what you'd logically think, okay? So basically, it's with the DNA argument, it's very hard to explain the presence of information without your mind saying, okay, someone put the information there. The second argument is the delicate balance of the physical parameters of the universe. For example, there are many physical parameters of the universe make it what it is. For example, gravity. Okay, now the force that gravity has is a set number. We don't think about that a lot, but if that number was a little bit more or a little bit less, what would actually happen is that the universe would cease to exist. Stars would collapse if it was a little bit more. If it was a little bit less, they'd fly apart. And of course we know that without stars, the other parts of the universe wouldn't be there either. So it may seem obvious because we've got this universe which is delicately balanced, or that just happened, but in reality the chance of it happening are astronomical. So that's another good argument for a cognitive energy source, which you would call a creator. Okay, so we've established that we've got a cognitive being, and you're welcome to interact in any part of this, and I'm happy to hear your arguments the other way around. Okay, you've got a cognitive being. If you've come with me this far, let's think about this cognitive being. Is this cognitive being moral or amoral? So does this cognitive being which created the universe have a sense of morality, or is it just a force that created it but doesn't have a moral sense? Okay, that's important. Let's think about that. I would say that it was a moral being because if you look at everybody has a sense of morality, of right and wrong. This is right, this is wrong. Morality implies a command. The idea that genocide is wrong, the idea that the Nazis trying to wipe out the Jews was wrong, that sense of morality isn't explained by natural selection alone. Natural selection needs there to be an advantage to the individual. That advantage, if it's carried on by the population, will cause that population to become more successful, therefore breed more individuals that perform that kind of behaviour. Genocide, well, let's think of it from a purely natural sense of viewpoint, is actually beneficial to the population not being destroyed. If you destroy another population, well, you're going to have more land, you're going to have more... okay, so we have a moral being, moral creator that transcends our universe. Okay, is this cognitive, moral creator interested in creation, or are they like the watchmaker, wind up the watch and leave it? Are they interested in it? Well, there's probably heaps of arguments for this, but I'll just give two for now. First one being an interesting point that may not pop into your mind straight away, is the idea that we're actually placed uniquely in the universe to observe the universe. That's actually an unusual thing. Most planets in the universe are obscured by a translucent atmosphere, so they can't even see the stars, or they're in they will be part of a galaxy that is too bright to see anything else except the light source. So because our atmosphere is transparent and because of our unique position in the Milky Way, we're actually able to observe the universe. That, to me, speaks of a creator that wants us to understand the creation. Another one, which is probably easier to understand, is the idea of a desire for something that is transcendent to what we can gain in this creation. So we all have this desire for the transcendent. We all have this desire for something that's beyond us, something that can't be satisfied within the natural creation. If we evolved from this creation, if we were purely creatures of this creation, we would be able to be satisfied by what is in the creation. And so C.S. Lewis was the one that brought that argument about, the idea that the very fact that we have a desire for something beyond our creation indicates that there is something beyond our creation to desire. And I believe that shows to me that there is a God who is interested in me and wants to interact with me. What we need to do is look at the religions. Okay, I would, in my mind, maybe this is overly simplistic, divide the major religions into pantheism and monotheism. So pantheism is multiple gods, for example Hindu. The present form of Buddhism, even though that was not really a religion at all. And the old Greek Roman gods. So many